Are you ready to dive into a relentless, action-packed shooter that captures the essence of classic run-and-gun games? Iron Meat is here to test your reflexes, your resolve, and your nostalgia for the days when gaming was all about intense action and over-the-top boss fights. But does it deliver the goods, or does it fall short of the legacy it aims to honor? Let's find out. Iron Meat plunges you into a dystopian future overrun by a biomechanical menace. The narrative is simple but effective. You're humanity's last hope, blasting your way through hordes of twisted creatures in a desperate bid to save the world. It's a straightforward story that complements the high-octane action without bogging you down in unnecessary plot twists. Let's dive into the gameplay and controls, and Iron Meat sticks to its roots as a side-scrolling run-and-gun shooter, but refines the mechanics significantly. The gameplay is a satisfying mix of relentless action, tight controls, and a variety of weapon upgrades that keep you on your toes. One of the coolest additions is directional firing by holding R2, allowing for more strategic enemy takedowns, and that's something that I always appreciated in the Contra games that had that option. Boss fights are creative, fun, and fair with well thought out attack patterns, which reward precision and timing. You earn points at the end of each level based on threats eliminated, lives lost, and points earned, which act almost like XP, unlocking new skins as you rank up. The game's controls feel precise, making every move and shot count, a far cry from the stiffer mechanics of older titles it draws inspiration from. Jumping into the graphics and art style now, and Iron Meat sports a dark, dystopian aesthetic that feels like a love letter to fans of classic shooters. These sprites are detailed and animated smoothly, capturing that gritty retro vibe while still feeling fresh. There are options to apply VSync, which is a nice touch for those with compatible TVs, and a retro filter that can be toggled in the settings for an old school visual feel that adds some nice scan lines to the screen. One standout moment is in level 2, where the camera zooms out during a boss fight, almost turning it into a puzzle as you figure out how to take down a massive mechanical boss. The art style leans heavily into a darker tone, reminiscent of older Contra games, which will likely resonate with fans of the genre. Now let's talk about the sound. Iron Meat's soundtrack absolutely slaps, perfectly complementing the intense gameplay with energetic and moody tracks that set the atmosphere. There's also a retro music setting in the options menu, which changes the vibe entirely, making it sound like a genuine NES game. A neat addition for those craving that authentic retro experience. The regular soundtrack is already fantastic, with punchy beats and haunting melodies that stick with you long after you've put down the controller. Let's move on to the audience. Who is this game for? And Iron Meat is tailored for hardcore fans of the run-and-gun genre, in particular those who grew up playing games like Contra and Metal Slug. It strikes a perfect balance between nostalgia and modern gameplay sensibilities, making it a must-play for both veterans and newcomers who enjoy a tough but fair challenge. Jumping into the content, and Iron Meat packs a lot into its run-and-gun framework, with unlockable skins and trophies, which are highlighted directly in the game's menu. This gives players a clear goal to chase and adds added replayability. There's a level select option once you unlock the stage, allowing you to revisit certain levels tied to trophies and in-game unlockables, a feature that makes trophy hunting, I think, more accessible and engaging. Diving into the game's difficulty now, and Iron Meat offers an easy, normal, and hard difficulty setting, catering to a range of skill levels. Personally, I found the game manageable on my first playthrough, but I've spoken to others who felt it was quite challenging. So it's safe to say it stands on a similar difficulty scale as Contra, with its fair share of tough moments, but never feeling impossible. The pacing is relentless as expected from a run and gun, but the difficulty never feels punishing thanks to responsive controls and fair checkpoint placement. Now onto the game's emotional appeal and charm, and Iron Meat captures the essence of what made classic run and guns like Contra so beloved, with plenty of nods to old school games that fans will appreciate. Playing Iron Meat feels like experiencing the evolution of the genre. It's what Contra might have looked like if it had been developed today with all the modern conveniences, but none of the charm lost. There are even references to classic Nintendo games that are fun Easter eggs for seasoned gamers, adding an extra layer of nostalgia. Now let's talk about the replay value, and Iron Meat offers a decent amount of replayability with its unlockable skins and multiple difficulty levels. The level select feature also encourages players to revisit levels to hunt for trophies or just for the fun of overcoming the challenges again. However, once you've unlocked everything and completed the higher difficulties, there might not be a strong reason to return unless you're a completionist or just really love the gameplay loop. I also want to mention that there is a local co-op mode, but there is no online play. Jumping into the fun factor, and Iron Meat delivers on all fronts when it comes to pure enjoyment. The relentless action, tight controls, and variety of weapons make every run a blast. Boss fights in particular are a highlight with creative and visually impressive designs that push your skills to the limit. It's a game that constantly keeps you engaged, whether it's through intense firefights or navigating the intricate level designs. The feeling of accomplishment after defeating a tough boss or finishing a level without losing a life is immensely satisfying, just as it always has been in Contra and Metal Slug. Moving on now to the game time, and I clocked in at about 2 to 3 hours maybe on my first playthrough on normal, with additional time spent on the harder difficulties and chasing down the unlockable skins and the unlockable trophies that are in the in-game menu. The length feels just right for a game of this style. Not too long to overstay its welcome, but enough content to keep you engaged for several sessions, especially if you're aiming for 100% completion. And now let's discuss the legacy. While Iron Meat is a newcomer in the genre, it's already leaving a mark as a standout indie title that pays homage to the classics while forging its own identity. It captures the spirit of the golden age of run and gun shooters and updates it for a new generation. It's a game that could very well become a cult classic, much like the games it draws inspiration from. Wrapping up my thoughts on Iron Meat, and it's a game that knows exactly what it wants to be and delivers on that vision with confidence. From its intense gameplay to its dark, detailed art style, Iron Meat feels like a fresh yet familiar experience. It's a must-play for fans of the genre and an impressive showcase of how indie developers can take the baton from the classics and run with it. If you're a fan of run and gun shooters, Iron Meat is definitely worth your time. As always, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this review, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the notification bell so you never miss an update. Drop a comment below with your thoughts on Iron Meat, or let me know your favorite run and gun game of all time. And if you're up for more reviews like this, check out my channel for more retro inspired game reviews. And remember, you're never too old to play video games.